Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cloud Hero with Alain. Today we are going to tackle something that trips up a lot of people studying for the AWS Security Specialties. I am referring to those endless abbreviations such as S3, EC2, Lambda, EBS, and so on. Sometimes it just feels like reading a secret code. But don't worry, we are going to break it down with simple analogies so they actually stick. Storing data is at the center of everything we do in the cloud. So let's start with storage services. S3, Simple Storage Service. Think of it as a giant filing cabinet in the cloud. You can put in photos, backups, or documents. But here's the key. If you don't lock the cabinet, anyone can peek inside. EBS, Elastic Block Store. Think of it as your server's hard drive in the cloud. It stays encrypted and connects only to the instance or machine that uses it. RDS, Relational Database Service. With this one, just imagine a huge and organized spreadsheet, but AWS is the one keeping it maintained, patched, and backed up. All you need to do is to control who gets access. So we all see that S3, EBS, and RDS might look a little bit different, but they all do the same thing in the cloud, which is protecting your data. And our job is to keep them secure. Now let's break down some key abbreviations I came across with compute services. First up, EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Basically, these are your virtual servers. You pick the operating system, the size, and then you lock them down with security groups. Pretty straightforward once you think of them as servers you would normally rack up in a data center, just virtual this time. And then there's Lambda. I think this one is very cool because this is what AWS calls serverless. I like to think of this one as sending a little robot to go do a specific job. You don't need to worry about what machine it runs on because AWS handles that behind the scenes. The key lesson I keep reminding myself here though is to only give the robot the exact permissions it needs and nothing more. And then we get into containers. This is where two more abbreviations magically appear, ECS and EKS. ECS, Elastic Container Service. This is AWS' easier way to run and manage containers. EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. This one is built for Kubernetes, so it is more complex but also way more powerful. This is how I remember it. ECS is like the starter kit for containers, and EKS is like running the whole city of them. Different scale, but the main point does not change. You still have to control who gets in. We've talked about storage and compute, but the thing here is they need a place to stay, and that's where networking comes in. Let's break it down. First up is VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. This is your private neighborhood in AWS. You lay out the streets or subnets and decide which houses are public and which are private. About security groups, these are the bouncers standing at the door of each house. They only let in the traffic you approve. Access control lists. If security groups are the bouncers at the house, access control lists are border patrol. They check traffic before it even gets to the street. Network address translation gateway, NAT gateway. Think of this as the control gate for your neighborhood. Your private houses can send traffic out to the internet, but no one from the outside can sneak in. Networking is just your private cloud neighborhood. Once I started seeing things that way, the abbreviations started to make sense. We've got storage, compute, and networking covered. But what good is all that without logs, cameras, and alarms? That's where AWS security and monitoring tools come in. First up, IAM, Identity and Access Management. This is all about who has the keys and which doors they can open. The golden rule, least privilege, always wins. KMS, Key Management Service. I picture them like a safe for your keys in the cloud. You rotate them, control who can grab them, and that's how you keep things locked down. CloudTrail. This is your camera for the cloud. It records every API call so you know exactly who did what and when. CloudWatch, your fitness tracker for AWS. It monitors CPU, memory, logs, and alerts you the moment something spikes. GuardDuty. This is your watchdog in the cloud. It runs in the background using machine learning, not learning machine like I said last time. A learning machine would just be a robot trying to study, but machine learning is the actual tech AWS uses to detect threats. And that was my little cheat sheet for AWS abbreviations. Honestly, I am learning this right along with you, but breaking them down this way makes them stick. If that was helpful, share with a friend who's also studying for AWS Cloud Security and hit follow so you don't miss the next episode. I am Alain and this is Cloud Hero. Let's keep learning out loud and stay tuned.